Hello and welcome to the stream. We are live. We are currently waiting on Ricky at the moment, but he should be here shortly, which is fine because I actually had an announcement before we get underway. We are adding a couple more streams to our channel. So we'll have a Friday night nautical themed game, which also begins at 9 p.m. Eastern. And then check us out on Sundays at 7 p.m. Eastern as we play our already in progress Dungeon of the Mad Mage campaign, as run by our very own David. You might remember him as Grok from Campaign 1, and you'll be meeting his character next week. So while we wait for Ricky, today I've got Rick here with me.
Hello.
And I've got Lewis in here too while we putz around.
Hello.
So yeah, tonight we'll be meeting Rick's character. And this should be interesting because I have no idea how you pronounce that name.
Erumollien.
Sweet.
Okay, everybody. I've kidnapped the dungeon bastard. Dungeon master. He's being held captive. And if you get us like a couple more followers, then I'll let him free.
Alright.
I guess nobody wants him. Good. Okay, I'm gonna take over. Okay. I'm gonna be the dungeon master. Let's see here. You are in a dark forest. Ooh. That's all I know.
It's an ominous start for sure.
I mean, I can only guess that you'd be starting on an island or something.
Or something.
I haven't been told anything other than that it might be a little different than the ones that have already happened. So I'm not sure what to expect either.
Yeah, no, that's gonna be great. I'm looking forward to seeing what Ricky has in store for you.
As a mere acolyte, basically a commoner, I am concerned. I hope that I live through this session.
Yeah, you have an interesting character concept, if I remember.
Well, we'll see if it's interesting. It was interesting to me.
You know what's interesting to me? Gold. Platinum. Diamonds. Rubies. Other cool things like that. Magical stuff. I like magical stuff.
Yeah, just wait till the whole gang gets together. I'm really, like, you know, David's got a pretty interesting concept from what I understand as well.
It could be quite an interesting collection of people.
What are you calling a people?
It could be an interesting collection of people like persons.
That'll work.
Me, I'm just interested in exploring more of this world. You know, we were kind of, a little limited to the area that we could operate in with the first campaign. So I'm really looking forward to well, the open worldness that should be following. I'm hoping.
Hey, we could have went anywhere we wanted to. We just chose to stay in the same generalized area.
Well, that's because everything was happening in the same generalized area.
Yeah, but if we would have went outside that area, we would have had to make him make stuff in that area happen.
I know that there is a broader map. Um, if it's exactly what he was thinking about now, I don't know. But back a year or more ago, when he told me all of the different things that he would like, uh, there is a map, and Ron, you should be getting it maybe tonight.
Oh, that'd be awesome.
He's actually had it for more than a year and forgot, and just asked me about it the other day. I'm just noticing that both of our names are green on this. That cannot stand. So
Oh.
I am going to be I'm going to be nope, not that. Somebody is probably red.
Yeah, I'm not sure.
And I don't know third base. No, that's not right.
I will be white. That seems appropriate for me.
Yes. Alrighty.
I think it's been a year or two or 20, almost 30. But it seems like when I was in college, there was a rule about the professors being late by a certain amount. I think that rule applies here. I think I get to level up to like 5.
Yeah. I think that sounds pretty accurate.
You know, all he has to do is come on here and say otherwise.
That's true. If he doesn't want me to level up to 5 because he's late, then he just needs to say so.
That's a deal then. Woohoo!
Sweet. I can be a level 5 acolyte.
And since he hasn't said anything about it since and up until now, your word is what happens. Yes, that's what happens.
So, Ron, you don't think we explored enough of the world in the last campaign? I heard.
Yeah, somebody might have said that.
Yeah. I may have been listening in on the Twitch stream on my way in.
How could you have done that? You were all tied up.
It's funny to me that of the things that was said, including just very recently, that was the thing that he had an issue with.
I got a phone call, so I had to miss a bunch of it. What else was said?
Oh, that's too bad. Nothing important. No big deal.
Did you guys compliment me? Oh, I heard you talking about the map.
Just something about principal professors being late to class and what happens when that happens.
Yeah, you're not getting any bonuses or anything. Give me just a quick second. I'm pulling everything up. What were you guys talking about?
I mean, I was talking about how, you know, the DM of this current adventure is my favorite DM of all time. He's a stand-up guy, great person overall. Just really a pleasure.
Okay, chat. Is that what really happened?
Toasty Cat, if you tell me the truth, I'll kill Basil in whatever way you want me to.
I mean, at this point, Basil's campaign is all done, so I don't think he minds if he dies. Unless I missed something. Is there a new Basil? That would be hilarious.
Oh man, this is why we have to fight, Rick.
Basil 2. I should have named my character this. We should have all named our characters each other's names.
Yeah, I want to retcon page.
Yeah. That would have been awesome. I want to be Robbie Sean.
I'm almost ready. What else are you guys talking about? Anything interesting?
Well, I had kidnapped you, and I was going to release you if they got us more followers.
We immediately lost 5 followers, so there's that.
Yeah, there is.
In this new campaign, you're all 3 players while I finish what I'm doing. In this new campaign, what's somewhere you want to play that you've never got to play, like in the Underdark or a realm, or, you know, what type of environment?
I don't know. I'm kind of thinking, well, exploring like actual like cities. Like we haven't really done anything urban. Like a real mountain trek could be fun.
And I've only played a couple of, decades since '82. So I've pretty much played everything. So I will play anything you like to throw at us.
I agree with Lewis.
Lewis, I don't want to be a jerk. Hold on. I don't want to lie. Lewis, I'm intentionally being a jerk, but I'd like to point out you've been playing D&D since I've been alive.
Yes. To state some facts here, my wife was born January 6th of 1982. So yes, I've been playing as long as she's been alive. I didn't know her then, though.
I'm going to assume you weren't dating in '82.
No.
You've not been playing as long as I've been alive. I mean, if that's helps any.
Yeah, Rick is also very old.
Still a young one, but
According to my grandchildren, I am a virtual fossil at this point.
And now that Ricky is on here, I'm going to go ahead and get off so you guys can have your fun.
All right.
I'm getting out for just a minute. I'm almost done.
Well, then, when you're done, let me know, and I'll just log off of this part and just enjoy the actual chat.
No, there's going to be no... You can listen.
Oh, I'm going to.
Okay.
I'm going to be on there listening and having fun with chat, joining Toasty and Scarlet and everybody else telling you what to do.
Okay.
After we do get affiliate, we should add some things to, like, because they do channel points and stuff. We should add, like, I saw a couple of these on a different stream.
We'll do something like spend X amount of points, give a player advantage.
Yeah, exactly.
Spend X amount of points, give the DM disadvantage.
Or give the DM advantage.
Same, yeah, give the DM advantage. We'll let that happen. Decide how we're going to kill Basil this week.
I love 2 out of those 4 ideas.
Giving me advantage and giving you disadvantage?
Well, me disadvantage wasn't brought up. So now I love 2 of the 5 options that have been brought up.
All right, so those of you joining us, this is going to be our 3rd episode into this new campaign. We have the worst human being on the planet playing with us, one of my best friends in life. His name is also Rick. So if you just walk up to us and say Rick, we'll be confused. He is a horrible person who's probably got a stupid character, and he's going to tell us all about it. Now, tell us about your stupid character.
Okay. I am playing Erumollien. He appears to be a high elf. Looks to be about 150 years old. Approximately 5 feet 5 inches tall, maybe 100 pounds. Has alabaster skin tinged with blue, silver white hair, and green eyes flecked with gold.
Good word, flecked.
Yeah, flecked with gold. He's not an adventurer. If anything, as I've said before you came on, he's a mere acolyte. Little more than a commoner. But he's on a mission, so we'll see where this goes.
Awesome. And just a little bit about this campaign. It is weird. We have all these players in the group. I notice right now you probably only see 3 people in the game. Me, the DM. You see... me, the DM. You see the other DM guy, Ron, because he's editing and hosting. And then you see the player. That's it. And for a D&D campaign, sorry, I was clicking buttons. For a D&D campaign that's very odd and weird, there's not a lot of people there. I was also burping. Give me a second. But the reason why I'm doing that is I felt like railroading everybody. In the beginning of a lot of campaigns, there is that weird and heavily played you meet in a tavern. There's even a podcast called that. You meet in a tavern. You guys are on an adventure. You guys are guarding a caravan. You guys are in prison. Like, all these things are kind of corny. And I'm not saying that my introduction is going to be any less corny. But what it is going to be is a little unique in that I am railroading all my people from where they were individually into where they're going to meet as the party. So these are effectively episodes negative something. And we've got one more after this. We got David next week. This week is going to be unique. If you've watched the first 2 episodes, you guys know to watch out for that squirrely Cletus and all that. But you don't really have to worry about Cletus. We're going to do something different because I don't think Rick is up to par with those other guys. So I've done a whole unique adventure for him because I'm a bully and he's my target.
This feels accurate so far.
So, Rick.
Yes.
You find yourself wondering, how do I say your character's name? That's not what you're wondering, but I'm asking. How do I say your character's name?
Erumollien.
Erumollien. Would you do me a favor? Will you click the chat box and switch your name from your name to Erumollien?
I have already done that.
Oh, it just doesn't show up for me for some reason like I want it.
Oh. Do you mean under my character portrait?
Yeah. Can you flip,
okay.
Can you flip that?
Yeah.
How do I flip that? Oh, display name.
I can do that. Display name, yeah. Hold on one second.
Yeah. Thank you. That's that way I can cheat and try to remember how to pronounce Erumollien. There we go. Erumollien. I'm not going to do good with this.
I know. I often, almost always, pick names that I know you'll struggle with. It entertains me.
And this is why I don't like him, chat. I'm gonna tell. No, it doesn't. It won't matter. Your wife don't care. You find yourself wondering. You got a mission, and that mission is very secret. We're not going to talk about the mission. That's your mission. You've got a goal, and you're on your way to the goal, and you find yourself walking down from this high mountain. It's impossibly cold, but you don't feel the cold. It's possibly windy, but the wind doesn't affect you, except for disheveling your hair a little bit. Then you find yourself making your way down the mountain. Making my way downtown. And you end up coming out of a cave. And it's weird because I said that sequence of events correctly. You were walking down the outside of a mountain. Okay. And then all of a sudden you find yourself coming out of a cave.
Yes, and this does not surprise me. One thing before we go too much farther, who is that token?
You don't need to worry about him.
Okay. Do I need a token? Do you want me to have a token out there?
Yeah, right where I pinged, right in the middle of the map.
Okay.
Erumollien. Sometimes I get confused because I keep the stream open while I'm running Roll20, and I'll try to click in the stream to move stuff in the game. So I'm a goofball, which you guys are all surprised by. So you come out and you merge, and it's nice. It's nice out here. Nice spring day, and you're finding yourself kind of looking around, and you're on the hunt for a particular thing, but you don't have any guidance on where this thing is. So if you were to come out, a cave, and you were to want to wander in a direction, which direction would you wander, do you think? Which way would Erumollien go?
Let's see. I think Erumollien believes that left is always right.
Does sound like Erumollien.
So when he comes out of the cave, he would turn left.
All right, so you find yourself kind of heading left. You're going to move around the mountains, heading left still. Find yourself some plains, and not a lot of people. You see some animals, like you see a deer, and it kind of runs away. And your birds are chirping, and your squirrels are running around. This is very peaceful. It's very nice. You haven't been in a grassland area for a while, so you're kind of enjoying the stroll and just loving life. And why don't you go ahead and give me a perception check?
All right. 16.
All right, well, as you find yourself kind of out in this field, this guy I told you not to worry about, who's totally kind and totally not an NPC who is in any other game, comes up to you and goes, "Oh, hey, man, how's it going?"
Hi. It's going good. How's it going? How's it going with you?
"Oh, hell, man, look at all these fish I caught."
That is a lot of fish. Wow, I'm impressed.
"Oh, shoot, I got tall." "Hey, man, what are you doing? I heard you're making your way downtown."
You heard that? Did the Great Sage tell you too?
"Nah, man, he ain't told me nothing in a long time."
Oh.
He gets busy, though.
He does.
Toasty Cat, I see and appreciate your comment. Anyway, man, you want to have some fish with me?
Sure. That sounds great.
He hands you awkwardly this entire thing of fish while he gets to work setting up a campfire.
I don't know what to do with a big bunch of fish, so I just hold them awkwardly.
That's perfect. He gets a campfire going. He starts getting them. He starts cleaning them. He go ahead and starts cooking them for you. He sits down and says, "Oh hell, man! I ain't seen the Great Sage in what seems like 4,000 or 5,000 years. What have you been up? What's he been up to? Tell me something about him."
Wait, well, what was that? What was that last part? I mean,
Yeah. No, the last part was tell me something about him.
no, the part before that.
Well, I was cooking the fish before that.
4 to 5. 4 to 5. You look great for your age.
Oh, thanks, man. I got a great skincare routine.
Okay.
I learned about this thing. It's called exfoliate.
All
really
right.
sounds like a fancy way to say poop, but it's a way to take care of the pores in your face, on your skin. Your skin's got all these little pores. You exfoliate them, and you get all the gunk out of there, and you look all young and stuff, man. That's what you got to do. Damn right, that's what you got to do. That's it.
Okay. Well, I mean, I will keep that in mind. It's clearly working for you. It's fantastic.
Yeah, I use my exfoliating rock, and he's got a rock that he kind of rubs on his cheek, and his cheek starts to get red.
Wow. I'm sorry, I got distracted. What was the question?
Oh, tell me something about the Great Osage. Let me know something. Give me a story.
Oh, a story.
A story, something. He shared stuff with you. Share something he did with me.
What did? I don't think we've like actually formally. I'm an Erumollien. What's your
Ermo? Will you say that again, man? I don't got the best name voice.
Erumollien?
Erumollien.
Yes, that's perfect. And what was your name?
Oh, I'm Cletus Jenkins, world-renowned fisher, dude.
Cletus Jenkins. Cletus Jenkins.
Go ahead and give me, for giggles, go ahead and give me a history.
22.
You've heard a I was like, he's probably not going to get a 20. You've heard a myth about this guy, like a fable.
Oh, I have.
Yeah, and there was a guy named Cletus Jenkins in a story a long time ago, just in a passing book while you're studying at the feet of the great sage. You read a story about a man who loved fishing so much he neglected his wife. The problem was his wife was a witch, and so his wife cursed him to fish forever until he learned to value things more appropriately.
Oh. So I think about it, and I recall and I remember this story, and I think to myself, I'm not entirely sure I want to bring up that story. So I say, well, Cletus, I'm really sorry. My memory is not quite what the Great Sage's is, and though he told me lots of stories of his companions from millennia ago, I don't remember any of his stories having to do with you. Do you remember? Do you know Basil? Were you friends with Basil?
No, I wasn't exactly friends with Basil. You see, Basil, he became what you call that kung fu group of people, a monk, right?
A monk.
They do
Yes.
the karate chops and whatnot, and open the cans of whoops ass on people and stuff like that.
Yeah, of the Order of the Elven Herbs and Spices. Yes.
The most delicious group of monks I think I've ever heard about in history, to be honest. But anyway, no, yeah, I heard something about him. I heard one time he tried to ask a girl out to a dance. It did not go well.
I don't remember that. I mean, I doubt that the Great Sage told me every story of Basil. I just thought maybe there would be a connection there with you.
You know, when I was younger,
Mhm.
a long time ago, because mind you, it's been a minute. I think it's been. You know, time gets confusing. People think about it as going straight forward and from front to back, but I find it's more wibbly wobbly, timey wimey.
Oh, okay.
Bonus chat. I will let if somebody in chat besides DM Ron names that quote, I will give advantage to uh, Rick for his next roll. You got like 4 seconds. 3, 2, 1 and a half. Nope.
I mean, it can't be too hard to get a doctor quote.
Yeah, there we go. We'll go ahead and let Lewis say Lewis really quickly. All right, he goes, yeah, no. So when I was younger, I lived in this place. I lived in this place called Centerville. He used to be around there at the same time, doing all sorts of stuff.
I have heard much of Centerville.
Spud, how dare you? So he hold on, let me change the story a little bit for Spud since he's being a little spicy. Anyway, instead of going around and doing one of them karate chopping things like he went and did, I was just fishing. Man, I fish all the time. I still fish all the dang time. Heck, that's probably my problem. That's why I ain't doing nothing else. I'm just fishing.
You must have got along. You must have got along well with Trotline.
Are you talking about that big goofy looking troll dude who used to hang out with the druid guy?
Yeah.
Let me tell you something about Trotline. He's a dang cheat.
I don't remember the Great Sage never said anything like that.
Well, the Great Sage knows a lot of stuff, but he don't know nothing about fishing. All right, I think both you and I can attest to that.
Oh, I'm not sure. I think the Great Sage knows everything.
Well, I mean, I did too until I realized he didn't know nothing about fishing. That's why the Great Sage liked me, is he wanted me to talk about fishing. Every so often, he has me come back and I just yap about fishing for a while, and then all of a sudden, I get confused and I'm back here fishing again. So, anyway, Troutline, when he gets a little bite, you got to yank on the thing and hook the fish, and you got to fight to get it in. But he's daggum strong. He yanks on the line, and that damn fish just flops right out that lake into his hands. Like he don't even got to work at it.
Well, I don't really know much about fishing, but that doesn't sound like cheating. That just sounds like winning. It's like winning at fishing.
That's what Trotline says, but he's a jerk face. I'm not calling you a jerk face. You seem like a real nice guy.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah, no problem. No problem. I'm not going to hold that against you. Fish is done. He hands you a little bit of fish. He says, hey, I got some blackened rice here, some catfish over blackened rice. You can thank me later. Call me Papa Doe, because that's going to be delicious. For the record, Papa Doe's a reference.
I appreciated that.
Papa Doe's going to be a reference most of you guys don't get. It is a restaurant chain that serves South, like Cajun seafood. And then one of their good dishes is blackened rice with catfish on top, or catfish served over blackened rice. And it's lights out. It's a fancy restaurant where they can match like wines to dinner. Oh man! All right, so why don't you go ahead and tell me a story real quick about one of your friends? Excuse me, I didn't mean to misspeak about one of the sage's friends.
Oh, I was going to say I think you and I are working on becoming my first of friends. Oh, the Great Sage, he told so many stories. How about do you remember the time that Basil was still the lesser at the time and he got challenged? That was a fun story.
Hey, I think that was my great nephew or something, right?
Oh, really?
You talking about that big goofy looking monk with all the muscles and none of the brains?
I mean, I possibly. I don't know that I would say it quite all like that, but
yeah, no, he was all jacked up in Mountain Dew. That's the one that thought that snakes were poisonous, right?
Yes, that's the one. Oh, the great sage used to laugh and laugh about that. I guess it. I guess it really drove uh, Roland, the druid. I guess it drove him crazy.
Hey, you know what I used to do to Roland's Grove?
No, I don't know.
I didn't tell the Great Sages, but would surprise me if he knew it anyway, because that guy knows just about everything. What I
He
used
has
to
been
do,
around a while. Yeah.
what I used to do is I used to gather bags of poop, and I had a little trebuchet that I made for myself because I'm also quite the woodworker, and I would trebuchet just a big old bag of steaming shit right into that grove.
You were. I mean, were you helping fertilize? What?
I mean, that's the thing. Really, he can't get mad because of all the nutrients, that nitrogen and whatnot I was putting back in the soil. You know, I read about it in my FFA magazine, so I heard it was good stuff, so I done did it.
I mean, that sounds like a friendly thing to do. I guess. Did he appreciate it?
He would have appreciated it a whole lot more if I would have gave him a warning before I started raining down poop like I was some sort of army general mad at the people in the bushes.
I I, I think maybe I think maybe I understand.
I mean, all you got to do is look up, and if you see poop coming down, just imagine that's how he felt. And he was a real nice guy, so he never got real mad about it. I mean, he got mad. He got let's be real. He got mad, but he was never gonna act on it because of doing good crap for the nature.
I of course instinctively can't help but look up at the moment and flinch a little, imagining a big bag of poop flying at me.
Would it surprise anybody listening if this conversation from my end was 100% improvised? I knew I wanted to have the conversation, but I did not script or have any idea that I was going to be slinging poo into the grove.
I certainly didn't expect this session to start off with quite this theme.
Anyways, I got you some fish here, brother. So here's what we're going to do. Go ahead and have some fish. Why don't we catch a nap? Hey, hey, are you? I think I saw you when I was studying with this. Are you that guy that's just been reading books with the sage for a while?
Well, I have, yes, I tried to read all of, I don't know about, I read all of his journals, his the holy books. Yes, I've read all of those.
All right. Well, uh, there. You know how time isn't necessarily a regular concept that we deal with, right? Like we've been in the past and in the future.
I mean, I don't really understand any of it, but having some experience now, I mean, I kind of get it. Yeah.
I bet I can show you with this here fishing line here. I'll give you one of them abstract lessons. All right. Think of me as
Okay.
Professor Cletus P. Worrell Wayne Jenkins and just be impressed by my legacy of education. Okay. You ready?
I'm absolutely ready.
He cuts his fishing line off and he grabs some berries or something and dyes it so it's easier to see. So now you can see the fishing line. It's about 2 foot long. He goes, "Here, hold this," and gives you a one end of the messy fishing line now, and walks a couple feet away and goes, "Look how that's straight. You see how that's nice and straight?
I do.
We'll say time flows from you to me. Okay, you're the origin of everything, and I'm the end of everything. And time goes from you to me. That's how people perceive it. We're somewhere they're on that line." And where time is, and they just kind of go back and go one direction. Everything comes towards me. Got it?
Right. This part of it makes sense. Yes.
All right. So let's go ahead. Go ahead and keep holding it, but put your hand next to the ground. Go ahead and squat down. Pop a squat real quick.
Okay, I do.
He takes his part and he kind of spins it and coils it and makes a bunch of loops and all that with it. And he goes, "This is how time is really for all of us. Okay. When we're working with somebody like the Great Sage or somebody like that, we kind of have to take shortcuts and paths and we get diverted. we're still going to end up in the same direction, but we kind of bounce back and forth at times depending on the needs and location. And that's simply because we see the different paths a lot of other people don't see. You see, we got those special need to not go straight forward in time eyes that they don't talk about in regular education. But I'll tell you all about it here.
Yeah, this is pretty much where the great sage always lost me. I don't. All I see is a jumbled mess now.
And to be fair, time ain't nothing but a jumbled mess. But okay, all right. All right, we'll go ahead and do that here. I'm gonna take that back. I don't know why I cut my fishing line for this. I'm gonna have to fix that. That's a big inconvenience for me, quite honestly. It was not the best decision I made. So he grabs that back and goes, anyway, there's a couple characters that are gonna come through here in the future. A really long time in the future. But one of them lost something, and that thing ended up here in the past.
I don't. Oh, okay. I don't know how that works, but okay.
Look, do you know what a Wallace Digby Kinseau? Damn it. Do you know what one of them is?
A Wally Kinsey, damn it. No.
Yes.
I do not know what that is.
He's a pain in the ass, runs around with the bow and arrow and shoots stuff. And then there was this little kobold. Kobold was a little pain in the ass named Izzy. That one's got a story to tell. Anyway, Izzy used to be very wealthy. And at one point in time, Izzy lost all of Izzy's wealth. And Izzy had some pretty cool stuff. So,
okay. I'm super sorry to interrupt. You keep saying had and was, but didn't you say like they're going to be here a long time in the? Wait, this is the timey thing again.
This is the timey thing. So
okay,
they exist in the future, but some of the crap they did affects the past.
Okay. Don't understand, but I'm listening.
All right, well, maybe I can explain it simpler. They exist in the future, but sometimes little portals pop up and portals that go from the future to the past, and some of the stuff kind of tumbled through. And that's the case for this. One of Izzy's favorite items tumbled through into the past.
Okay. Well, that makes a little bit more sense. I'm following.
All right, cool. So here's the deal. Izzy really likes his stuff.
Uh-huh.
So what we're going to do is I'm going to take you over to it and let you explore it. We'll do that tomorrow after we fill our bellies on fish and naps, okay?
All right.
Hey, you ever drank moonshine before?
I am not aware. I don't know what that is. I don't think I have.
All right, well, what that is it's just a drink that's going to make you sound like a champion. Matter of fact, here, do me a favor. Okay, now I need to warn you, it's going to burn. This is a potion that you need to drink, okay? It's a special potion. Okay. You got to drink the whole thing. Now, it's going to burn, and it's going to feel real rough, but this potion is going to make you fortuitous.
All right, I got it. All right.
So you've got 40 ounces of just pure Alabama moonshine.
Okay.
And he says, "Go ahead and drink up," and he starts drinking.
Well, he's speaking with authority, and I'm listening. So I don't pause. I just drink the whole thing.
Give me a Constitution saving throw.
All right. Is this with advantage?
Dang it! Yes, I don't like it. I said it, so.
Oh. All right. Advantage helped a little bit. 13 with advantage.
You rolled twice there, didn't you?
Oh. Yeah. My mouse has been double clicking things every now and then. So never mind. 19.
It's advantageous for you to use that first roll. You get a 19, you lose your vision for about 3 minutes.
All right. I don't want to. I don't know why I'm yelling, but it's a little disconcerting. So I don't know. Should I be concerned? The potion appears to have made me blind.
Nah, man, hell, that's just how you know it's working. That's really when you're kicking your intestinals. It's kicking your intestinals up into high gear. Is when you go blind for a little bit. If you stay blind like 4 or 5 days, that's no good. If you're back in like 5 minutes, you're good to go, buddy. You're basically a champion.
Okay. Well, I just wanna. Yeah. All right.
2.5 minutes later, you get your sight back, and you are drunk. The end of the night keeps going. You guys both just pass out. There's a fish on the fire. It completely burns. None of you guys smell it. He throws up on himself in the middle of the night. Thankfully, he's not like AC/DC. He's okay. Next morning happens, and you catch him washing his tunic off. And he goes, hey, buddy, how are you feeling? You have little hangover because of your exceptional Constitution saving throw.
All right. I feel. I mean, I don't want to. I feel great. Your potion was terrific. Thank you.
Yeah, buddy. He pats you on the shoulder weakly and goes, all right, man, let's go ahead and get the hell out of here and go get you to this thing.
Okay. Yeah. Now, I'm a little leery of him now. He's made me a little nervous, but he knows the great sage, so he must be all right. So I will follow.
One second. So you guys go to head on up there. And as you're walking up, he asks you to tell him, you go ahead and tell me one more story about something, okay?
Oh, all right. How about the time? How about the time that Phenilius touched that phylactery and Basil had to save him? What about that time? Do you remember about that? That was one of my favorite stories.
Oh no, hell, tell me about some of that.
Well, apparently Phenilius wasn't the brightest one in the group, so they found some orb thing. He didn't know what it was. Turns out it was a phylactery, and Basil kind of knew something was up. So Basil tried to get the phylactery from him, and in the process he touched it too, and then the both of them were kind of possessed, I guess, by this phylactery, and it caused all kinds of problems, and they almost had to fight their whole all their companions. I guess it was a pretty big thing. Thank goodness for Basil.
Wait, ain't that the time that the very nice gentleman Springwater killed Phenilius?
I think that did happen. That's right.
I wonder why the Grey Sages don't talk about him very often.
About who? Phenilius or
Or
Springwater?
Springwater, really, both of them.
Oh. Well, I mean, from what I understand, Phenilius was like the least remarkable of all of the companions. So there's probably not that much to say about him. And I don't know about Springwater. I mean, he seemed like a pretty remarkable fella. Maybe he just didn't know him that well. The Great Sage. I don't know.
All right. You guys end up walking. Oh no, I just tried to move you on Twitch again. Up to this tower. Lewis, are you listening to the game? You guys make it up to this tower, and as you approach the front of it, Cletus goes, now, I've been doing something hilarious.
Okay.
I've been pushing certain people into this tower and shutting the door. Now, I'm not going to do that to you because that's not what I was told to do for you. What we're going to do for you is I'll stay back here. That way you don't see me near the door, especially since I told you I was pushing people in. You're probably a little nervous. If you look right on the steps, you'll see a bottle.
Okay.
Go ahead and pick that bottle up. Look at it. Rub it real good. Take a peek.
Okay. I tentatively walk over. On my way, I look back over my shoulder and say, "And was it who was it that told you to do this?"
Man, you don't want me to start telling y'all the secrets already, do you?
Okay. No, don't. No, I do not. I bend down and grab the bottle and dust it off and polish it a little bit.
When you look, I'm assuming you look inside the bottle.
I do.
Inside the bottle, you when you pick it up, you notice the sand in the bottle feels warm. But as you kind of clean off the dust and you look inside of it, you see just a huge city, but tiny. As you look in, you can barely make out. You see tiny people moving inside this tiny city. And it's not a town, okay? It's not a villa or village. It's a metropolis. It's a huge. It's 20, tens of thousands of people live inside this town.
I'm fascinated by this. I get my eye a little bit closer to the opening in the bottle so I can really peer at it. This is a new experience for me.
Yeah, go ahead and pop that cork and take a peek inside there. But set the bottle down on the ground before you do it.
Oh, okay. I set the bottle down and I hold the bottle. I grab the cork.
Before you open it,
yeah,
I got one message for you.
Okay.
The great sage says, figure out what's going on in there.
Figure out what's well, the great sage's wish is my command.
Well, the vernacular is a little different. I think he just wants you to understand what's going on in there and why there's so many tiny ant-like people in there.
Okay. I have no idea how to go about doing that, but yes, I will figure it out. I pull the cork and I get my eye right down close to it so I can really get a good look.
Welcome to the town of Gewald. You are all of a sudden falling through the air at a drastically horrifying speed. You are 100% certain that you are about to die.
Okay. I call out, Great Sage. I help?
You hear a faint laughter in the distance. Oh, hell, man. Hopefully you got that. And then it kind of trails off. And you slowly start to feather fall down. And eventually you land right here in the middle of the town. Right here by Hartsburg Borough.
Great Sage did help. I knew he was a god.
Right in the middle. Right in the middle, there's almost a target painted. Rick, you should read the Twitch chat. There's a target painted in the middle of town, and you come to rest right there in the middle of the target, and people are hustling and bustling. It is a busy town. Have you ever been to the Renaissance Fair?
I have.
It's the same vibe as the Renaissance Fair if you added about 30,000 people to it.
So it's a lot more people than than I am comfortable with.
Is you land and people hardly stop to pay you attention. Why don't you go on ahead and give me a perception check? Cletus is a fun voice to do. I should do a character in a game with his voice.
Perception of 15.
You just fell from the air, and none of the people running around you give a crap.
Oh, well, that's it's oddly refreshing that no one seems to care.
And so, sorry, Chelsea's cracking me up. Here you are. Your last instructions were that you were supposed to go on ahead and figure it on out.
Okay. I just. I work my way over to like an alleyway or a slightly more quiet area where I can gather myself. That was quite an experience. I just got the first hard evidence for me that the great sage that I've known as a god all along, it must be, because I asked for help and he slowed my fall, so I didn't die. It's a lot to take in.
Not dying is amazing.
Yeah.
So what are you going to do after that? You catch your breath, you hang out for a few minutes, people are walking by, everybody looks busy as hell.
After a few minutes, I take to collect myself. I step back out, take a deep breath, and I like reach out a hand as somebody's passing by. I say, "Excuse me, excuse me, you there? Excuse me. Hello, excuse me."
Hi, hey, wait, what's up?
Oh, have you heard of the great sage?
I mean, we got people who are sage-like. What do you want?
Oh, I was sent by the great sage to find out what's going on here. So, what's going on here in the city?
What? What do you mean? What's going on in here?
Yeah, anything? I'm getting more and more nervous now. Anything at all going on? Is anything? What are you doing?
I'm talking to Cletus's voice. I'm on my way, actually, to work. Right? We got jobs. We all got things we do. I got stuff to accomplish and dreams and hopes. What are you doing? Hey, did you just come in from outside the bottle?
You know about the bottle?
Yeah, you talking about the bottle with the town and the tiny little dots of people in it?
Yeah.
Well, this is the town and we are the tiny dots of people.
Oh, okay. Is that strange to you? How did the town
which part of it is strange?
I've never been to a town. This whole conversation is strange. Let me try again. So, I'm not from here. I think obviously now. And where I'm from, we don't. This is the first tiny town in a bottle with tiny people I've ever seen. So, how did you get in the bottle?
Oh, I don't know, man. It happened a long time ago.
Oh. What do you think about being in the bottle? Do you like it?
I mean, yeah.
Has anybody tried to get out of the bottle?
Yeah, some people have made it out of the bottle, but really we don't really do that too much. We don't want to break things.
Really? Okay. Has anybody gone out of the bottle and then come back to the bottle?
I mean, you ask. Look, man, I ain't got time for this guy. I'm out of here. And he kind of huffs and puffs and bounces out.
Okay, so thank you.
See more people bustling around.
Excuse me. Hello? You there? Bottle person. Hello?
Hey, what do you want?
Oh, so who's in charge of this town? What is it? What is this town called? I'm new here.
You don't even know what the name of the town is called?
Nope, brand new here. Just dropped in.
The name of the town is Goldwald, you jackass. You might want to learn a couple things.
Okay, I will. Absolutely. I'm sorry. So who's in charge of this Galwald?
Everybody's in charge of themselves.
Okay, all right.
What?
Now he has to spell Galwald.
Oh, it's in the top left of the map.
Oh, so it is.
This map is labeled. I've come with a pre-generated labeled map. I'm impressed with myself. Hashtag thank you, Dijon. Or Don John. Anyway, yeah, I mean, look, we're people in a bottle and we like to exist outside the bounds of other people's rule. What else do you want to know?
I don't. I gotta be honest with you. I don't know. I was sent here to find out what's going on here. I honestly, right now, I don't even remember what I was supposed to be finding out. It's all very confusing to me. I've never been in Gawald before. How about, why don't you can you just tell me what should I do? Should I go somewhere, do you think?
What a little kitten cat. All right, well, I'll go with you somewhere. Come with me, buddy.
Oh, okay. I'll go with him.
He's almost like pushing you. Hold on, sorry. I realize it's black screen, sorry. And he walks you right into a bar.
Okay.
All right, let's have a seat.
All right. I have a seat.
Go ahead and drop your token right next to this goblin here that you've been hanging out with. said right next. Right next.
Well, right next is relative.
All right. What we're gonna do is we're gonna play a game called Make It Better.
Okay.
And what that means is we're gonna stand here. Shut up, Spud. We're gonna stand here and drink until everything's better.
All right. And this is a game that I mean, this is a common game here. Like if I needed to figure out what was going on in the town of Gawald, this is one of the things that I would do.
In the damn name of Abel. Yeah, that's what we would do here is we would figure that out this way.
Okay. Well, I'm in then.
Hey, orc face, couple shots, all right? We ain't gonna be drinking nothing. You put your stuff there, we'll be drinking something. Coming on. And the bartender, without really talking, puts down a couple shots.
Thank you.
Hey, pay the man.
Oh yes, yes, of course. How much?
Oh, 1 copper a shot.
Okay, two copper it is then.
Hey, well, you keep those copper close, because it takes a lot to win this game.
Oh, okay.
And he grabs his shot, throws it back real quick like a champion.
All right. I'm not super looking forward to this, but I know how this is played now, so I toss mine back.
I love it. All right.
I don't feel like is something supposed to happen after one?
Nope, you're good.
No.
Go ahead and give me a 1d46 roll as 2 more shots are delivered.
A 1d what?
1 to 46.
Oh, 1 to 4. Okay. 19.
Fortune and glory, kids! As he downs the second shot.
Oh, he did. Fortune and glory, kids.
There it is. There it is. As soon as he's done the shot, he starts patting you on the back. Give me another 1d46 in order to result of 19.
12.
Though you may never find the answers to your problems in the bottom of a glass, good drinking buddies can make the bad times more tolerable. So here's to you, my good new friend. And he downs another shot.
Oh, friend, okay. We're friends. Yes. Fortune and friends and bottles. And I down mine.
Another roll, please. May their corpses be heavy with gold. Throws another shot.
Heavy golden corpses. And I down one too.
Go ahead and give me another roll.
3.
This is my new, hands down, my new favorite D&D game. Getting Erumollien drunk.
Erumollien.
I was close. Here's to the gods. Let's hope they are watching over us. He puts it down. Go ahead and give me a Constitution saving throw and another roll.
To the great sage. 7. Oops. And 43 for my 46 roll.
The first DC was 5. And you said what? 43.
43.
2 our livers. They're gonna have to do double time tonight, but they're used to it by now. Another shot.
To our double livers.
Give me another Constitution save.
Shooting. And I drank.
Constitution saving throw, another percent, or another 1 to 46.
24.
You pass. You play. I almost named the goblin. You haven't asked his name yet. So the goblin's sitting there, and he's kind of weaving on the bar stool a little bit, and it's awkward, and he got a glance like he's about to say something great, and he looks you in the eyes and goes, "Cheers!"
Where everyone knows your name. And I take a shot.
All right, you've got an advantage. You've got inspiration for the cheers quote. Give me another Constitution saving throw and another dice.
Constitution is 18. And the 46 is a 46.
Shoot, all right. To the gold-walled guards, keeping the roads clear, the town safe, and brewers and merchants able to get their crap here.
To guards crapping here.
Give me another con save and another roll.
20. And 20.
Rolling so good. Did we do 20 already? We did 20. Give me another one.
Another what?
1 to 46.
Oh. 12. I already did 12 too.
You did.
Want another one?
Yes, sir.
1.
Here's to the dwarves for their great bros.
The dwarfen brothers.
Give me another con save and another roll.
My mouse double clicked again, so the first one was 9.
Perfect. Give me that other roll.
9.
All right, you like 9.
That's
feeling very German.
Yeah.
Feeling very German. A toast to my friends to the war's end.
To the
Before you do it, mess this one up bad because you're gonna pass out immediately after.
okay. That was it.
Man, it's been a while since I've had a drinking buddy. He he reaches down, he digs in your pocket, he pulls out 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 18 copper, puts it on the bar for the shots, and then scoops you up. Drops you off in bed. Next morning you wake up, you've had a long rest, so all the spells and anything you've used are restored.
Okay. All the stuff I've used is restored.
Perfect. And you wake up and you see the goblin just snoring.
Oh boy. I don't want to wake him, so I'm just gonna lay there. Wait, where is he snoring? In the same bed with me?
No, you both are in your own beds.
Okay. Yeah, then I just lay there.
3 hours later.
Do I feel like I've learned anything?
In your mind, you've learned a local drinking game and probably did pretty well at it.
Okay.
So you wake up, or he wakes up 3 hours later. And he goes, "Ah, hell, what are you doing?"
Oh, hi. I'm laying here contemplating on what I've learned from my new friend. What was your name again, friend?
Oh. Look, until we drink twice, I'm not going to tell you my real name. You can just call me the Puppet Master. All right, let's go, Puppet.
Okay. All right.
Come on.
So I thought we were. That wasn't the end of the game. Okay.
Come.
All right. All right.
Hurry.
Yep.
All right. Thanks for buying the drinks last night. I'll buy breakfast.
Okay. All right. You're welcome.
Okay. All right. So you're here to learn about the city in the bottle.
Yes.
Who sent you?
The Great Sage. Do you know the Great Sage?
You're a liar.
No. I'm not a liar. At least I have not lied to you yet.
How do you know the Grey Sage?
Well, I spent a little bit of time with him up on the mountain, reading his holy works.
He spits his veil. Holy works.
Yeah.
I know that jerk. He ain't got no holy works.
I scoot just a little bit away from him, and I kind of look up.
Look, he ain't gonna karate chop you from the sky or nothing, all right?
I'm not. Okay.
Holy works. What a self-righteous jackass.
Blasphemy. Well, I mean,
Look at me.
he never called them that. He actually didn't like it when I said stuff like that.
Oh, yeah, that sounds more like it. A bit more humble than most folk.
Yeah, too humble, in my opinion, for a god.
A god. Okay, brother. Come on, what's your name? Again.
Erumollien.
All right, he's gonna take you to a tower.
Okay.
Not that tower. Probably not that tower either. Where'd the tower go? I guess we'll take you to this tower, I suppose. All right, brother. The information you want will be found here or something like that.
All right.
Go and drop your token right where I just pulled you. There shouldn't be any darkness. Can you see?
I can also now see everything. I mean, I can pretend like I don't, but I do.
No, there's stuff that you can't see. The stuff that you can't see is hidden. The stuff that I don't want you to see is hidden.
Gotcha.
All right, so you're in this tower, Brett. Excuse me. Somebody has said that you'll find the answers you seek at the end of this tower.
Okay. Okay. I am meeting lots of strange friends. Okay. So I start moving into the tower.
Perfect. Move slowly. Give me an investigation or a perception. Excuse me, I lied to you.
Okay. 16.
The square in front of you is trapped.
Oh my. Okay. I'm gonna have to be careful in this tower. I move to the side.
As you approach this injunction,
Yeah.
you know there's a door there because of the map that you were given, but you don't see how the door exists. What you do see are words written on the wall. What languages do you speak?
All of them, as long as all of them is common, dwarvish, elvish, gnomish, and halfling.
All right, well, this is Elvish.
Okay.
On the wall, there sits what you assume to be a riddle. And it says, "Time existed before me, but history can only begin after my creation."
Time existed before me. But what?
But history can only begin after my creation. Again, anybody in the chat that gets the riddle can feel free to help the players.
History can only begin after my creation. Huh. I'm checking to see how intelligent Erumollien is. Okay. Do you want me to make some kind of a check?
If you'd like to, you can make an intelligence check.
Okay. 17.
That's pretty good. That's a pretty good check. You would be tempted, much like Scarlet, to say memory. But history is defined as a written account of people of the events of the past. So you might say writing.
Yeah. I mean, I read a lot of the holy works of the great sage. Those were most of them were about history. So, is it a book or a writing of some kind, I wonder?
So what's your final guess?
Erumollien is not really sure what he's supposed to do.
He would.
I look at the wall and go,
The answer from your check is writing. So let's go ahead and say you'll guess. You can just speak that out loud and see what happens.
Okay. I look around a little bit, and I just like get up next to the wall and I say, "Is the answer writing?"
The door slides open a tiny bit.
Oh.
And you're able to make it to there.
Okay. Well, more hallway. I'm going to actually be actively looking now, trying to see if I can spot any more stuff.
Give me a good investigation roll.
Well, I can give you an investigation roll. I can't guarantee it'll be good.
You heard what I said. Everything's clear.
All right, perfect. Knowing that everything is clear and confident, I work my way down the hall.
Hey, how's your dexterity?
My dexterity is great.
Good. Why don't you go ahead and give me a saving throw?
Okay. 8. Like I said, my dexterity is amazing. It's great. What is that?
You take 2 damage
Oh.
as darts fly from one side of the wall to the other. Pew, 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 pew.
Oh. Great sage.
Are you dead yet?
No. Not with
So-
2 damage.
So,
I got a little bit more than that.
towards the end of the wall, you see more writing.
Oh boy.
This one says, "Some are cherished, some are hated. Even if they're lost, they remain with you."
Some are cherished, some are hated. I mean, that one feels like I've got some cherished and some hated memories. Wonder if I can draw from them to get the answer.
You're such a jerk.
Is it? I look at the wall again. Is the answer memories?
You hear rumbling from behind you as a pathway behind you is opened up.
Oh boy. Okay. I work my way back, skirting the wall this time in this area so I don't get more darts. I have no idea where they came from. Is this an opening now?
Yes.
Okay.
Oh, look at that. You stepped on a trap. I'm just kidding.
Yes. All right. Ooh, I wonder what's in there. I look in there. Do I see anything? In here.
No.
Okay.
Go ahead and give me another investigation.
All right. 19.
Yeah, you see a couple traps that you're able to easily navigate.
Okay, good.
All right, let's pause. We've been playing for about an hour and a half. I need just a 5-minute break. Is that good for everybody?
Good with
Cool.
me.
Ron, you here? Entertain the people, Ron. Lewis.
Well, actually, this would be the time when we just go to break, so let's take a break.
me be projected to my servants.
You're live.
All right. So far, we have not killed or attempted to kill my arch nemesis, Erumollien.
What did Erumollien ever do to you?
My arch nemesis. So, I think it would be a great time for him to make a perception check. And let me say, this might be the most important perception check you've had to make so far.
Well, I'm rooting for a nice low roll then. Perception check. 7. Ugh, dumb double clicking.
Love it. Okay, go ahead and move. I wouldn't move too many squares. I would just move like 1 or 2.
Well, I don't really want to move any now.
Skittering, and skittering.
Is that... Oh, I was going to say, is that supposed to be a sound that I hear?
You see... Sorry. A hand skittering towards you.
I don't like that.
That was weird. Did I not do it right? Wow, you didn't roll very well at all.
No, I did not.
You see this little hand come crawling towards you. Hold on. It's going to get you. We're going to get a one shot here. It's going to crit you and you're going to die.
That is absolutely possible.
There we go. Oof. Does a 14 hit?
It does.
The claw jumps up and scratches your face, dealing 2 slashing damage.
Ugh. Ugh.
Now it is your turn. Are you going to cast Fireball?
No. I am going to... I'm going to say, Great Sage, protect me from this evil. And then the Great Sage is going to protect me from the evil.
How is he going to protect you from the evil?
By answering my plea.
Oh, Lord. Does 12 hit?
It does not.
So it balls up to a fist and goes to smash your toes and it misses. Your turn.
Oh boy. I am going to... I'm going to swing my quarterstaff. I'm going to swing my quarterstaff and try to whack this creepy hand. Oh, why you roll twice? Why you do that to me?
That's okay.
Okay.
We're just taking the first roll.
21.
That's just so you know, that's the rule for you, is we just take the first roll. Like,
Yeah, I'm going to replace the mouse. I'm already tired of this.
you do 4 bludgeoning damage.
4 bludgeoning damage.
You shatter all the bones in the hand, and it's defeated.
Oh, thank goodness.
Very difficult fight.
I notice that when I asked the great sage to protect me from this evil, I noticed a holy glow that manifested around me, and I say thank you, great sage.
You feel hugged.
I do feel hugged.
Let's pause for a second. I realize I never explained to you what my homebrew rules were I was instituting for this campaign.
Oh, well, that might be a good time to tell me that then.
Always, if you want to participate in this one, all you have to do is always roll with advantage or disadvantage. And what that means is, and why that's important, is if you roll and you get 2 natural 20s, you know how every so often, once every month or so, we'll see somebody roll and get 2 natural 20s on an attack?
Yeah, it happens.
That is maximum critical damage. So you're going to double damage dice and maximize the damage from that dice.
All right. I like that.
That's a big hit. And if you are some sort of min-max character like Sue was, and you have like 68 dice you're rolling on a crit, all of them are max damage.
That would have been awesome.
Yeah.
Yep.
Rip Sue.
Okay, what about if you rolled the dreaded double ones?
There will be something to happen. I'm not going to make you fumble on a natural 1, you just miss. But if you roll 2 natural 1s, we're going to do something. You're going to drop your weapon. Something not permanent and not murdery will happen to you. Something goofy. You might drop your weapon. You might whatever, but it's not going to permanently it's not going to break your weapon. It's not going to do a bunch of damage to you. You might do a little bit of damage to you or somebody near you, but it won't be something where you can kill somebody.
All right. That's absolutely fair.
Yeah, I'll find a list. I'm currently looking for a good randomized list that we can roll on for a table. But a lot of those tables have stuff that I think is overkill. And then there's one more. I've mixed up inspiration a little bit. I also allow for unspiration. I think we're going to give Spud the credit for that. Yes, unspiration, meaning you can inspire yourself or a teammate, or using the same rules of pre-roll doling, you can dole that back out to me to give me disadvantage. So if I'm going to attack you or impose something on you, you can give me disadvantage on that roll.
Okay, so for instance, I right now have inspiration, so I can use that on myself or someone else.
Yeah, you can give inspiration to yourself, you can give inspiration to any of your teammates, or you can give disadvantage to the DM.
All right. Sounds fair.
Yeah, I just think that gives you a little bit more utility out of it. It makes those tokens a little bit more value. And let's be honest, you guys are jerk faces and like trying to make my day hard. So back to it. What are you going to do from here?
Well, I'm going to continue on. I need to get to the end of this place. So, oh, by the way, the Great Sage is protecting me from evil for an hour.
Yeah, I saw your dumb spell.
Okay. It's not my spell. I didn't do anything. Great
I
Sage did it.
saw your dumb spell. Don't make me repeat myself, citizen. All right, as you walk by there, let's pause for a second and make this is the most, I said it before, this is legitimately the most important roll for initiative that you've made.
I feel like you just say things now just to say them.
You go ahead and roll lower than a 15 for this initiative. I don't care.
Nah. 17's good.
Okay. Izzy and Spud loved this creature. You walk by and you realize what you thought was just slick stone is actually an ooze. As it starts to lose its stone-like look and starts to move towards you.
Nope.
And it's up there. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to spawn it right on you. It's up there. You walked by it. It saw the combat. It's now. And I want to just point something out. While the ooze remains motionless, it is indistinguishable from an oily pool or wet rock. There is no way you could have seen this.
Yeah.
Okay. If you would like to make a Arcana check, we'll see if you know anything about them.
Oh, Lord. Please let me know something about them. Arcana? 14.
I'm not going to give you a bunch of information. You just know they're slow.
Okay. All right. Erumollien looks back, hearing a noise.
That's accurate. Gross, but accurate.
And goes, nope. And Erumollien is leaving.
You gonna head back to the entrance?
No, that would mean walking past it again. I got to get to the end to follow the Great Sage's command. So here I go. That was 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30. How many feet can I go? 30. And I double move because I really want to get away from it. So 35, 40, 45, 50, 55, 60. And now I find myself out here and I'm not sure where to go from here. So I get to the end of my run for the moment and I'm done.
You hear that from several directions now.
Oh, man.
And it's your turn again.
So which directions did I hear it from? So behind me, where that
For
one
sure.
was.
The one
And
right
now,
next to you.
Like right next to me. Okay. Well, I don't want to go that way. So 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40, 45, 50, 55, 60. I double move again. I am now just aimlessly running through these corridors.
As more oozes come at you.
No. 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 60 feet. Now I'm aimlessly running up this. Oh boy, it's a dead end.
Is it though?
To my eyes, it's a dead end.
But is it though?
Heck is that?
It's a piano. It should have been there the whole time.
Okay.
Your turn. You see some writing on the wall above the piano.
I will go inspect the piano because right now I don't want to go back. What does the writing say? Can I read it?
You read Dwarvish, right?
I do.
Good, because it's not the language. It's actually Elvish.
Okay.
Right,
Well, of
but
course
it's actually
I read that.
It's actually Infernal.
Oh,
No, I'm just kidding. It's Elvish. It's Elvish. It says "Play Dead."
play dead. All right. I lay down.
Let. All right. After a round, that doesn't do anything.
Dang it.
You start to think maybe that's not the dead you're supposed to play.
All right. Well, I don't know. I don't know much about. Well, I don't think. What do I need to roll to see if I know anything about music?
You need to give me a sweet. Let me look at your character sheet.
Okay. I
Because
know that I don't have any proficiencies in anything musical. Nor am I proficient in, say, performance. But I could fake my way through it.
Why don't you go ahead and give me another. I'll tell you what. Give me a percentile dice roll.
All right, sure.
Oh, stop rolling double.
65.
Or, well, you shouldn't yell at me. I scare easy. But a 65 is high enough. You can go ahead and go to the chat. The chat has seen this puzzle, and there's a suggestion in there.
What chat? The
stream chat, sorry.
okay.
While he looks that up, there is a country song that I think reminds me of how I feel about Rick. And the song is entitled "Loving You's Like Cook and Bake and Naked."
All right. Real life me, Rick, knows just as much about music as Erumollien does, which is nothing at all.
Give me an intelligence check and I'll decipher.
I've heard music.
Intelligence check.
17.
No, I see a natural 1. That's what we're going with, folks. All right, so 17, you would be, after spending enough time in the libraries of the Sage, you've come across the music scales. So you understand that there are notes, and the pianos are the most common. So you would understand what both Toasty and Scarlet are trying so desperately to get you to know is that there are notes on the piano keys. While they're not labeled, each key represents a different letter. So you could play D-E-A-D on the piano.
How okay. Yeah. And I'm envisioning Erumollien standing in front of the piano doing the exact same thing I'm doing right now, which is, how many guesses do you think I have before the oozes get here to start on the right one? Because I can probably get the pattern if I get the right one to start with.
Well, with your intelligence check and the help from the chat, you can role play it however you want, but you have the information.
So, I take a guess. I take a stab at where the key D might be, and then I follow the pattern that I assume might be correct to spell out dead.
Give me 1d3.
Okay.
That's how many rounds it's going to take for you to accurately.
3 rounds.
10, 20. Thankfully, that's as close as they get in your 3 rounds. But that's getting kind of close. Let's pause for a second and talk about this. I think this is something that's not represented well in D&D games. D&D games, I can pick a rock up and throw it at somebody, and based off a stat on a paper, determines how far to throw that. Never once has a DM said, I don't think your character can throw it that far. Why don't you pick up a rock outside of equal size and composition, chuck it, and that's how far we think you can throw it. Based off a dexterity score, I can climb a wall or catch myself from falling into a hole. I've never had a DM walk me up to the Grand Canyon, give me a shove, and say, if you can survive that fall or stop from falling, then your character can make that roll. Unfortunately, with traps, puzzles, and persuasion, intelligence, wisdom, and charisma checks, a lot of times we will rely solely on the acting of the player, and we will forget this player represents a character with different stats, because obviously I would have like a 38 in charisma, but most of my characters do not have a 38 in charisma, so I have to play it down to the 3.8 character level.
Sorry about that, I was choking.
No, Rick. So, even though Rick is smart-ish with his character,
I've got like 3 intelligence in real life at least.
Rick said he doesn't know anything about music, but his character is a nerd who's been real studied. So I want to allow him, when doing a puzzle or riddle, I will often allow intelligence checks or some sort of relevant role. Even if I wasn't streaming, I would allow some sort of relevant role to give them a hint, and then I give them a hint because, like me, I play a lot of wizards, and my wizards are way smarter than I am, so I'm not going to be able to figure things out as well. A lot of people don't do that for some reason. They just they say, "Oh well," and just if you can't figure it out with your crappy human intelligence, you can't figure it out. Fortunately, I play a lot of gnomes, so I got good gnome intelligence in game. With that, Rick, the floor opens up right under you.
Well, that's fantastic.
Go ahead and give me one of them fancy dexterity saving throws.
Oh boy.
And I don't want you to fail.
Well, this is going to be impressive. 6.
How many hit points do you have, Rick?
Wait. Never mind. 6.
Why'd you say never mind?
Just because I just felt like it. I have 6 hit points.
Oh.
And 5 temporary hit points.
Oh, thank God. Because I'm rolling a d6 for damage. And you take another 2.
All right.
One moment, I got a yawn. You fall down the chute, and you land into a little office. I should have put a desk and a wizard in there. There's an elderly gentleman in this office hanging out. He's at a desk, he's working. You slide in, and it says you fall in and plop on the floor and, yelp in pain. You hear him go, "Oh, hello! What are you doing in my office?"
I don't know. Hi, I'm Erumollien.
Erumollien. Boy, I haven't heard that name in 4,000 years. How is the Great Sage treating ya? Yeah, but I'm hiding from you. How is the Great Sage doing, buddy? I lost Rick.
Sorry. My grandson is going to win over D&D.
I've met him.
Sorry, what was the question?
We were talking about high charisma characters. That's one right there.
Yes, it is.
He said, I haven't heard that name when you say your name. I haven't heard that name in 4,000 years. How's the Great Sage doing?
He's doing great. He's a god, right?
Okay, buddy. He pats you on the head. Why are you in my office? And good job figuring out the piano.
It was a piece that I don't know anything about music. It was a lucky guess. The oozes almost got me. I am in your office because hopefully I was told that at the end of this tower tunnel maze thing that I might figure out what the Great Sage sent me to discover here in this tiny town with tiny people in a bottle.
He has been bugging me to share how I made this.
You made the city?
Yeah. I am a wizard of great power.
I mean, clear. I don't know much about magic. I don't know anything about magic, other than the Great Sage is immensely powerful, and you must also be if you know something he doesn't know how to do.
Oh, it
Are
is
you
a
also
position
a
of
god?
privilege. No, I wouldn't call him a god. That's just weird. Lewis, stop stealing my jokes. Sorry, excuse me. When you asked how I built the city, I was going to say, on rock and roll. All right, I tell you what. You teach me something, and I'll give you what your boss wants.
Me teach you something.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I don't. Wait. Do you know how to play? Dang, I don't remember what the name of the game was now.
After all those shots, I don't imagine you would.
Yeah, so you know how to play that game. Okay.
That was Ricky speaking. That wasn't sorry.
Oh.
Hey, what? His voice is. I hate doing this voice. It's my least favorite character voice to do ever.
I mean, you made up the voice.
Shut up. It's not how this works. You don't get to make fun of me for doing dumb stuff to myself.
I don't know. I don't know. Probably a fraction of a percent of what you know. I'm not sure what would you like me to teach you?
Oh, no. You have to give it randomly and freely. I tell you what. I'll make it easy for you. I'll ask for something.
Okay.
If you guess my fun riddle.
Okay.
Are you ready?
I'm ready.
Your mother is an orc. Your father is a dwarf. What are you?
Your mother is a orc. Your father is a dwarf. What are you? You're a child of an orc and a dwarf. A dwark.
He laughs, a big belly laugh. Yeah, a dork. That's funny, right?
And it is funny, actually.
I hope Ron thinks it's funny. Ron doesn't think it's funny, that it's unbearable. Teach me something personal about yourself.
Something personal about myself. That's okay.
Do you know what tool helps a wizard with writing correct runes in their spell books?
I don't know anything about magic, sir.
A spell checker.
Is that like a pen?
Yes.
Okay.
Why do wizards like Fireball so much?
I don't know. I still don't know anything about magic.
Because it's a well-rounded spell.
So fireball. It makes sense that a fireball would be round. It is a ball.
I tell you what body of water do you get bonuses to sail across? Proficiency.
Proficiency. I've never heard of that one.
I know. Last one, maybe. What's a cleric's favorite hot drink? Divinity!
You know so many things that I don't know. I've never heard of any of these things.
Well, I've been around quite some time. You know, not all necromancers are bad guys. Sometimes they just want to raise a family in peace.
I mean, that sounds reasonable. I don't...
All right. Why did the drow become a comedian? For the loaf.
For the I don't understand that one either.
I'm genuinely laughing out loud at that one. Oh. All right, last one. Why are there no Dwarven lawyers?
What's a lawyer?
You know, somebody who argues legal cases. They can't pass the bar. Hey, yo.
I'm very confused.
All right, so tell me something about yourself. Tell me something new and fancy, and I'll give you a booklet for your boss.
New and fancy.
To me.
New and fancy to you. I don't know what you know about me.
You're not wrong, Scarlet Cupcake. He's an old white dude.
I'm not all that I appear to be. Or I'm rather I'm not anything that I appear to be.
He pauses for a second. He looks at you. His eyes kind of glow with a radiant color. You feel the pressure in the room as he starts to access arcane energy. You just feel an immense pressure from him. They talk about this in anime. It's something I'm going to try to institute in this. And he looks at you and goes, "Oh, one of them. Okay. All right. So I'll tell you what. This has been a city for 20,000 years.
Oh my.
You've only been in here for what, 2 days? 3 days?
I don't know. There was a lot of drinking involved in the game. I may have slept for a day or a week. I'm not really sure.
Did that stupid puppet master get a hold of you?
Yes.
Yes. Nice.
He's one of my new friends.
Cranky enough, nice guy, but he's hiding from his master. I tell you what, I'm going to give you this book on the creation of the city, but you just have to listen to one more joke from me.
Okay. I haven't understood any of them so far, but this one, I feel good about this one.
2 orcs are sitting together chatting. One looks at the other one and says, "What's the difference between an elf and a trampoline?" Second orc goes, "I don't know." First orc goes, "You got to take your boots off before you jump on a trampoline."
That was a good one.
All right. So essentially, this bottled city sucks time out of the air to fuel its smallness. And it used to be an entire regular city on the prime material plane. Using a list of spells and rituals, both divine and arcane, this old wizard was able to accomplish this. Only a few people actually understand about it, but they did this in retaliation. They were running from this crazy, super powerful blue dragon, beyond ancient. Somehow, that treasure got liberated from the dragon and ended up in the possession of Izzy for a while, and now Izzy's searching for it again. So this is one of the things that Izzy would have. So he tells you when you leave this, it's going to be much, much later, or in the future from when you went into the bottle.
That seems to be happening a lot lately. Okay. How much into the... Actually, I'm not sure that's relevant. I'm not sure when it was that I came in the bottle.
What do you call a raging barbarian?
Whatever he wants, I guess.
That's right. Whatever,
Oh.
anything you like, because they can't make listen checks while raging.
I don't know what a listen check is. But okay.
All right, that's it. I don't know if that's it. I just found awful D&D jokes about goblins. It's a whole list of goblin jokes.
No, Ricky, don't do it.
That feels like a special episode.
I'm just gonna do one, and then I'll close the
A
website.
really special episode.
And this is a really special.
Oh boy.
This one goes out to Spud. What's worse than 10 dead goblins in a ditch?
11 dead goblins.
One dead goblin in 10 ditches.
That does sound pretty bad.
I lied to you, Ron. There's gonna be 2.
I think most of us knew that this was going to happen.
I tell you, give me a 1d4, and I'll tell one of these last jokes, and we'll finish the episode. Number 3. So whatever joke this is all Rick's fault.
It feels like you're looking for something specific and not just reading the third one.
No, I'm reading all of them, and I'm glad you didn't get 4. You got 3, correct?
Yes.
How many goblins does it take to paint a house?
I don't know. I've never seen goblins paint a house.
It depends on how hard you throw them.
What? Doesn't seem like a very effective way to paint anything.
So you find yourself... The wizard tells you an incantation, and this incantation is the way out. He gives you a booklet, and he says, this journal's for your boss. He'll know what to do with it. That explains everything you wanted from here. Do you do anything else before you read the incantation and get the heck out of there?
No, I'm very... This has all been extremely confusing and disconcerting, and I am ready to just get out.
All right. Again, I tried to move the stream.
Yeah.
All right, you find yourself, you pop up, you are laying next to the bottle, and you see your best friend Cletus there, and he looks a little bit older.
Oh, Cletus. Glad to be back.
Oh, holy hell, man, you scared me. When did you just get back right now?
Yeah. Yep.
You've been in that bottle for 200 years, brother.
That's better than I expected, honestly.
So good news, bad news. You probably aren't gonna initially, at least, like what we got to do right now.
Okay. What? Wait, is that? That's not the good news, right?
No, good news, man, is I'm really glad to see you. You look like you're doing good. You've been eating good. You've been doing all right. Did you make any other friends? You probably made some friends. Do I smell alcohol you've been drinking in that bottle? Is that what you've been doing for 200 years? What the hell you been going on, man? You gotta tell me what you've been doing. And he kind of keeps going until you start talking.
Erumollien tries to be very respectful most of the time, so he doesn't start talking unless he stops talking.
2 or 3 minutes later, he goes, "Come on, man, what happened to you? What you been up to?"
Well, there was some drinking involved. I did indeed make a new friend, and he taught me a drinking game that I cannot remember the name of. I can't remember much of that night, honestly. But then I went into a tower maze thing, and a creepy hand attacked me. I asked the great sage to save me, protect me from evil, and
He went
he
in
did.
there?
No, he didn't. He's a god, so he just does
Well, got it,
the
Jason.
thing. And I said protect me, and he did. I felt a glow, a holy glow surround me. I felt vibrant. It was amazing. And then some oozes chased me. I had to play a piano and fell in a hole and landed in an office of someone else. He never said his name, but he knew the great sage too. I think he also worships him, as everyone should, of course. And he gave me a book and said to give it to the great sage.
Oh, hell, that's pretty rad, brother. That's better than I thought it'd be. So good news, bad news about what's going to happen next.
Okay.
Bad news. Well, hell, we're doing the good. Good news is you're exactly where you're supposed to be, I'm pretty sure.
Okay, that is good. That's good news. Yes.
Bad news is we're going to have to knock you out and take all your stuff from you.
Oh. Well, yeah. I mean, that's not. Yeah, that's bad news.
Yeah,
Okay.
Normally I don't tell people I'm about to do it, but man, I feel like we really bonded in our short little time together. I really feel like we were pretty awesome.
So we're friends then, and friends tell each other bad news stuff.
Yeah, you gotta let people know when stuff's happening. Sometimes it's not easy to tell them. Sometimes the subject is a little hard to go over, but sometimes you just gotta do it. If you respect somebody, you gotta get past the difficult.
Okay. Well, I appreciate the honesty then, my new good friend.
Good. So this is it'll hurt a little bit when you wake up.
Yeah.
And you're gonna lose your stuff, including that journal you just got for the great state. But before you freak out, you'll have the opportunity to get it back.
Okay. All right. Should I turn around? Should I lay down first?
Oh, you know what? Why don't you just kneel down? That way you don't fall that far. You only get the lump from the whacking.
Okay. All right. I do.
You do, and he goes, "Oh, I'm sorry about this, buddy. I really do like you. Hopefully you don't hate me too much for doing this." And then a good solid thunk as he hits you with a blackjack and you're out. You wake up sometime later with a headache. You now are level 2.
Yes.
You have
I think level 6 from leveling up when you were late.
Oh no, that's not how that works.
Oh, okay.
You're gonna make yourself level 2.
Level 2.
You're gonna have no resources.
All right.
All of
what
the
does
resources.
No resources mean? Like
any abilities, like if you were a bard and had bardic inspiration, if you were a wizard and had wizard spells, if you're a cleric and had cleric spells.
Yeah, I don't have any of that stuff. Yeah,
no hit dice.
Any of that anyway.
You have 2 levels of exhaustion, and you have 1 hit point.
All right.
And so,
one 1 hit point.
Yep. Took your hit dice away. Oh, you have no items either. You're basically in a loincloth.
All right. I can just uncheck all of my items.
No gold. All your currency has been taken.
All right.
That goes for you too. Any of the other players that are listening, you have no gold. It's all gone. Not to be held and counted for later. It's gone. They spent that.
All right.
And you wake up and you notice you've got a shackle around your neck, and you notice you have shackles around your feet and hands, and you're part of a chain gang that's all waking up at one time.
That. Ow.
You see a kobold, a halfling, and Spud. What race is your creature? And whatever a Spud is. You see the other player characters all chained up with you, including one more curious character. So you find yourselves all kind of waking up in the same area. You notice some clanging, and it looks like people are using picks, and you're in a mine that is mostly underground. People are being woken up and pulled to work. So you're assuming that it's time for your group to work. And so you're given pickaxes, led to a place, and told where to dig and what to do now.
Okay.
You do hear one weird thing, though. Off in the distance, you hear some very quiet carnival music. Along with maniacal laughter. And that's it. Thank you guys for watching us play D&D. And when this podcast happens, thank you for listening to us play D&D. Well, if you read the chat, you can see I've already scarred the viewers and the players with carnival music.
Yeah. I see that.
Which is great. So don't forget to check us out on all the socials. We are at DOT. Oh man, I'm failing at plugs. Just follow the links, man, right there in Nightbot. It's Facebook. That's gonna be our Twitter. That's gonna be our website. Check it out. Bring your friends. More people watch us, the more stuff we can do. And thanks for watching me torture my buddy. That's all I got.
All right. Well, thank you all for watching, or listening, as it may be. And we're going to get out of here. Now, let's see. We are going to raid out, so don't go anywhere yet. And thank you all once again. Good night, everyone.